I'm taking another victory lap on so many levels this morning. I'm just going to ask you to look around the internet, look around YouTube, check out all the other folks that you might listen to from time to time, and tell me anybody else that told you that the jobs number this morning might be under 40,000, might even be negative. And and there's actually more to the story, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But what's the biggest story of the day? Wow, wow, wow. Elon Musk gets his $1 trillion job package, setting records that are beyond anybody's imagination. Yes, there's no other news this morning. If you look anywhere, any of the places that I normally go to find news for you this morning, if it's about if it's about Elon Musk, if it's about Tesla, the only news that's out there is about his $1 trillion pay package offer. So let's see what there was, 27 articles. There's no way I could read all the articles this morning. I picked CNBC, and then we'll actually go into what the board said. CNBC, it says Tesla is asking investors to approve yet another outsized pay plan for CEO Elon Musk, according to a financial filing out Friday. The total package is worth, they have to say it, they have to do this, $975 billion based on the maximum payout, assuming share count remains. Well, it's not worth about $975 billion. It's worth about $1 trillion or more, because it all depends on what is the stock worth at the time. The proposed plan for Musk, already the world's wealthiest individual, consists of 12 tranches of shares to be granted if Tesla hits certain milestones over the next decade. It would also give Musk increased voting power over the EV makers, and an aspiring robotics titan, which he's been demanding. Tesla chairwoman Robin Denholm told CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin the plan was designed to keep the CEO motivated and focused on delivering for the company. If he performs, if he hits the super ambitious milestones that are in the plan, then he gets equity. It's 1% for each $500 billion of market cap, plus operational milestones he has to hit in order to do that. So it's not just about hitting the market cap, having the company go, apparently the goal here is over 8 trillion in value is what it takes for him to get 1 trillion. The full award would give Musk more than 433 million additional shares. He currently holds about 13% stake in the company. Denholm confirmed that the Tesla CEO pay plan, if approved by shareholders, would not put any limit on where and how Musk spends the time, or how it requires him to spend any minimum number of hours per week. It doesn't matter how much time he spends, it's what he achieves. To obtain the first award of the plan, Musk and Tesla would need to almost double their current market cap to reach 2 trillion. So no money, still no pay, until we go from 1 point, whatever we are this morning, to over 2 trillion. And then the final benchmark is at $8.5 trillion market cap. The operational milestones in the 2025 CEO Performance Award include 20 million Tesla vehicles delivered, 10 million active FSD subscriptions, 1 million robots delivered, 1 million robotaxis in commercial operation, and a series of adjusted EBITDA benchmarks. Musk has remained politically embroiled while also running a collection of companies, including, we know all that. Tesla also said on the filing Friday it will ask shareholders at the November 6th meeting to vote on whether the company should invest in Musk's newest venture, xAI. Musk first floated the idea publicly with an informal poll last year. Founded in, et cetera, et cetera. So they're asking us whether they should or not, but apparently no formal number. That's odd. We were all hoping, I think, that they would suggest 5% or 10% and a dollar amount. All right, here's how the board says it. The goals that must be met for all of the shares to become earned shares require Mr. Musk to lead a new period of stratospheric growth. Yeah, you can say that. No company this large has ever grown by that much. No company has ever achieved that kind of market share. Achieving operational milestones, driving Tesla's market capitalization to at least 8.5 trillion by 2035. So 10 years to get there, 10 years to get to 8.5 trillion. That would be approximately equal to the combined market capitalizations of Meta, Microsoft, and Alphabet, as of the date of this proxy statement. Notice Apple's not in the list. Unlike the 2018 CEO Performance Award, which is structured as options to purchase common stock, the 2025 CEO Performance Award is structured on restricted stock. In other words, not common stock, not voting stock. The special committee determined that an award of restricted common stock would be a better structure to fulfill Mr. Musk's desire for voting influence, thereby providing enhanced retention when compared with an award of options for common stock. It provides that Mr. Musk has the opportunity to earn voting influence while challenging him to meet a series of extraordinary performance milestones. And unlike a traditional option, the awards require him to stay at Tesla through the entire vetting period if he wants to maintain that influence and unlock the economic rights associated with any earned shares. So he has to stay the whole 10 years. There you go. That's another reason why the stock's up this morning. The special committee designed the 2025 CEO Performance Award with the primary objective incentivizing retaining Mr. Musk to lead Tesla through the next phase of transformational growth, since the special committee believes that Mr. Musk uniquely, totally uniquely, there's nobody else, over and over and over and over again, proves that there's nobody else like him. He uniquely has the breadth of experience, leadership qualities, expertise to successfully lead Tesla through this next phase of growth. Mr. Musk is independently wealthy and has consistently demonstrated that he is motivated by more than his conventional forms of compensation. Rather, he's driven by bold, high-stakes challenges that allow him to fundamentally reshape industries and society while maximizing long-term shareholder value. For example, the 2018 CEO Performance Award drove Mr. Musk to grow Tesla's market cap by more than 20x since March of 2018, creating hundreds of billions of dollars in shareholder value in the process, which also achieved ambitious revenue and adjusted EBITDA goals. The special committee believes that retaining and incentivizing Mr. Musk as chief executive officer at this pivotal moment is essential to Tesla's successful transition from its role as a leader in EV and renewable energy industries to growing to be a leader in AI, robotics, and related services. The 2025 CEO Performance Award is designed to retain and incentivize him by giving voting rights, which is what he asked for. First, Mr. Musk has the opportunity to earn the right to vote restricted stock, such shares, when earned, becoming earned shares, covering up to 12% of the adjusted share count as defined below. Thus, he must also generally remain in service for the remainder of either 7.5 or 10-year vesting period, depending on when the shares become earned. So he could earn them faster, of course, but he has to stay 7.5 years even if he earned them tomorrow. Market capitalization milestones. There are 12 milestones. The first tranche would be a market capitalization of $2 trillion. So that would be about not quite double, but maybe 60% up from here. And the next 9 tranches thereafter each require an additional $500 billion. Each one's $500 billion in market capitalization. Sustained market capitalization is required. You can't just get there. It has to be sustained. Specifically, 2 prongs must be met to achieve a given market cap. 1, a 6 calendar month trailing average market cap based on trading days. The 6-month market capitalization, it's got to be for 6 months trailing. And then a 30 calendar day trailing average market cap based on trading days. Okay. I don't totally understand all this shit. Maybe this afternoon I'll get together with Larry. We'll talk about some of this afternoon. Operational milestones, product goals. 20 million Tesla vehicles delivered within 10 years. It'll be 2 million a year. Don't fully understand that. 10 million active FSD subscriptions. Is this for the first or the second? Doesn't say. Is this, can't really tell here. This is the first. I think this will be 1. So I think this is just the first one, maybe. 10 million active FSD subscriptions, 1 million bots delivered, 1 million robotaxis in commercial operation. I'm going to say this is the first tranche. 50 billion of adjusted EBITDA, 80 billion, and then the other tranches, they just go up. There's 8 total tranches. For purposes of clarity, meeting each of the last 3 adjusted EBITDA milestones requires achieving adjusted EBITDA of $400 billion over 4 consecutive fiscal quarters. As such, Mr. Musk achieves all the operational milestones prior to a change in control only if Tesla earns $400 billion over 3 overlapping periods, each made up of 4 consecutive quarters. The 11th and 12th tranches may only become earned shares, and Mr. Musk has also developed a framework for the chief executive officer succession. So he has to have a succession plan in place in order to reach 11 and 12. And then key terms of the proposed 2025 CEO Performance Award: the total number of shares of Tesla restricted common stock underlying his 2025 CEO Performance Award is 423,743,904, divided equally among the 12 tranches. Okay, equity types. The 4 product goals, which is, again, a little confusing here. I really need to figure this out. Any previous unmet operational milestones can be paired with any of the 12 market capitalization milestones for the shares underlying one of the previously unearned 12. So there's a little confusion here, a little bit of complicated back and forth, and we'll have to tear into this later today to figure it all out. I mean, 1 million bots, if they were leased out at my number, $100,000 a month, a year, that would get us pretty close, get us real numbers, but 1 million bots is nothing compared to the expectations I think that Elon has. It'd be more like 1 million bots a year, and then 10 million bots a year, and then 100 million bots a year. So anyway, we'll see what all of this means later in the day as we all dig into it and figure out the details. All right, this is from Rapid Response 47. He says, CEO Sam Altman last night, talking at the Trump meeting of the AI leaders, he says, thank you for being, this is what Altman said to the president, thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. It's a very refreshing change. The investment that's happening here, the ability to get power of the industry back, I don't think that would be happening without your leadership. And from MAGA Voice, this is Apple CEO Tim Cook at the same meeting, stunned. He says, he stuns America by giving a huge shout out to Donald and Melania Trump for their leadership and focus on innovation. I want to thank you, he says, for setting the tone such that we can make a major investment in America, both of them announcing $600 billion plans, capital spending plans over the next few years. This is Randy Kirk. That's kind of boring at this point, but there's more to come. There's more Randy Kirk being right. And I mean, come on, you gotta say nobody else said the number could be under 40,000, could even be negative today. Nobody else. All right. CNBC. All right. This is Randy Kirk. Like, subscribe, notify, all that stuff. Send me $3 a month just for a while. Test it out. And if you join now, it'll count for getting a free audiobook. Okay. So, but it's in order to get a free audiobook, you're not going to be at $3. You're going to be at $5 to get a free audiobook. Anyway, all right. CNBC. Job creation sputtered in August. No, actually, what we're going to find out, wait for it. What we're going to find out is 22,000, 30,000, 40,000. That's where we've been for a year, because the numbers for last year are going to be adjusted, and we're going to find out that the numbers were so bogus. There's going to be 1 million more jobs lopped off of the 6-month period from September last year to March of this year. So we're going to find out that this is more like the real number. Keep on listening. Listen up here now. Non-farm payrolls increased by just 22,000 for the month, while the unemployment rate rose to 4.3. Oh, we're still fine. I see. So we're still at 4.3. Who said that? Okay. Economists surveyed expected the number to rise by 75,000. The report showed a marked slowdown from the July increase of 79,000, which was actually revised up by 6,000. The revisions also showed, a net loss of 13,000 in June, a net loss of 13,000 in June, after their prior estimate was lowered by 27,000. In other words, June was net negative. Hiring was, by the way, what do you expect this number that we just got to happen? Hiring was, maybe it'll go up, but who knows, but it'll be around this number. Hiring was held back by payroll reduction in the federal government, which reported a decline of 15,000. Payroll. You mean if you don't hire a bunch of people for the federal government and you actually retire people out of the federal government by 15,000, then you can't have increasing payrolls in the 150s, right? And if you don't have a bunch of immigrants, okay, anyway, you know what I'm going to say. Healthcare, again, led by sectors, they added 31,000 jobs. That might continue to be the case, but maybe not at these numbers. Social assistance contributed 16,000. Wholesale trade and manufacturing declined, not shockingly. The report comes as markets widely expect the Fed to lower the benchmark interest rate. And of course, the interest rates came down dramatically this morning on the 10-year. We'll talk about that in a minute. Though most economic indicators are showing continued expansion. Yes, that's true. Fed officials have expressed concern about a slowdown in hiring, often seen as layoffs, but no, layoffs are holding fairly steadily, according to this report by CNBC, which is what I was saying all day yesterday. People that are talking about the layoffs are up, they're not. At the same time, policymakers worry that Trump's tariffs could reignite inflation. No, they're not. I can't tell you how many different ways. I mean, you can go on any of these people that are talking about, oh yeah, inflation. No, listen to the retailers. Every single retailer said, not a problem. And where it's going to show up the most is going to be in the retailers. Yes, the manufacturers have the stuff that they buy in order to manufacture the rest of the product over here in the US. And they're talking about they're getting these hits. But guess what? It's not going to matter. The warning bell that rang in the labor market a month ago just got louder. A weaker than expected jobs report all but seals a 25 basis point rate cut later this month. In fact, I think what we're going to be looking at maybe is 50. That's Randy. 4 straight months of manufacturing job losses stand out. It's hard to argue that tariffs aren't certainly a key factor in this weakness. No, it's nothing to do with tariffs. What it has to do with interest rates. We need the interest rates to come down so people can start buying durables again. But we don't, 25 ain't going to do it. 50 probably not going to do it. We need the bonds to come down, which they are. While the establishment survey showed weak job creation, the more volatile household count used to calculate the unemployment rate held better news. That report showed an increase of 288,000 employed, though the ranks of the unemployed also rose by 148,000. So that's the trade-off there. The labor force participation rate edged higher to 62.3%. So more people getting into the labor market. Oh, because the immigrants aren't scooping up all those jobs. While the labor force swelled by 436,000, accounting for a tick higher in the unemployment rate. Okay, do you know that there's a whole bunch of people out there that are not very smart? I'm sorry, it's just a fact. There's a curve. Some people aren't very smart. Some people aren't very skilled. Some people don't have a lot of self-confidence. Some people don't even like to walk. It scares them to think about even going out and applying for a job. They don't even know how to do it. They don't know what Indeed is. They don't know what LinkedIn is. They're not on LinkedIn. They're just folks. And they don't know, they ask around, oh, do you know anybody that's got a job? And when you got to go out there and compete with the immigrants who are smarter than you, actually, they're smarter than you. They're probably more skilled than you in building trades or in farming or whatever else, in manufacturing. And you got to go out and compete with them, and they're willing to work for less than you. Then how do you compete with that? No, this is opening up jobs for that group of folks. A broader measure of unemployment that includes discouraged workers and those holding part-time jobs for economic reasons climbed to 8.1%, but that's still just a 0.2 percentage point increase. Along with the jobs numbers tally, the Bureau of Labor Statistics at 10 a.m. will release the initial estimate for annual benchmark revisions. Oh, that's today? Oh, I thought that was later. I didn't look that up. I'm so sorry. I might do a special show on that. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll talk to it with Larry. Revisions have been a source of controversy, particularly in the post-COVID era, as response has declined. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this on pause and see if I can go find that. So let me just put that on. Not see it. We will have to come back to that later. I've heard it's going to be 900 million jobs. I mean, 900,000 jobs are going to be whacked off of that 6-month period. That's 150,000 jobs a month. The BLS typically releases its initial estimate with the first batch of survey responses. It gets then updates them 2 to 3 times a year. All right. So that is going to be later this morning. Again, Larry and I, not only will we be reporting on that later today, but we will be reporting on what Cathie Woods has to say about all this. Can you imagine her show tonight is going to be fabulous? Maybe you should watch that and then watch Larry and me talk about what Cathie Wood had to say. U.S. oil, according to Mario Nawfal, U.S. oil production hits a record under Trump. America just pumped more oil than ever before, 13.58 million barrels per day in June, beating the old record from October of 2024. Most of the boom came from Texas, New Mexico, and the Gulf of Mexico, cementing the U.S. There's no Gulf of Mexico. What are these people talking about? Where's that? Cementing the U.S. as the world's biggest oil producer. These guys, whoever's reporting that, is going to end up not being able to get into the press room. The Department of Energy bragged that it proves Trump's energy dominance agenda is working, while forecasts show production could climb even higher by December 2025. All right, we've got inflation this morning from Truflation at 1.93%. We've got it year over year at 1.91%, and we've got the PCE equivalent at 2.23%. We've got Trump at 48%, which is ridiculous. And we've got 3.0 is the new estimate from Atlanta Fed. We're still GDP, 3%. We're almost at the end of the quarter, and they're still predicting third quarter at 3.3%. And that is the same as it was last week. So the same as it was on Tuesday. Thursday, they didn't change it. So let's go take a look what is happening with the markets right now. So Tesla, which had gone up all the way, I think, to 354, is now back to 347.35 and is now finding its floor. But it's following basically the rest of the market. So the markets this morning were very happy with these numbers. They were very happy with what it did to bonds. But then they went, is this really a problem? And the answer is no, this is not a problem. This is really what it needs to be. But the markets have decided that they're at least for now, they're taking a breather. So everything's down. We got the Dow down 0.71, the NASDAQ down 0.42, and S&P down 0.5. As you can see, those are just breathers. I mean, maybe it's even profit taking. Tesla, however, is up 2.75%. You got the Magnificent Seven basically mixed, with NVIDIA taking it the hardest, down 3.91. Everything else is pretty close to in the less than 1% range. You got the VIX up 4.77 at 16, but that 16 is not bad at all. And again, it's showing that there's still risk on. There's a lot of risk on out there. You've got the Cathie Woods are mixed, but doing the same thing as Tesla. They went up a lot, and then they're following the market down. Now let's go ahead and take a look at those bonds, because that would be the key to everything. So the bonds are down 9.8 basis points at 407. Right now, just changed to 10 basis points, 407.6. Let's call it 408. We could be in the threes. Who said that? Who said that last night? If we get my number, if we get my number, which is under 50,000, under 40,000, came in at 22,000, but it's not just about the 22,000. It's also about those revisions. Okay, oil down $1.50 to 61.98. I guess that might have been the news of how much oil the United States is making right now. Brent also down 150. Natural gas down 0.46% to 306. Again, though, that's right about where natural gas. That's $3 seems to be right about where natural gas wants to be. Now listen to this. Gold has actually come off of its highs this morning, but it's still up $30 to 3,637. I don't know. Haven't been keeping track of the all-time high there. Silver is actually down just a little tiny bit, 0.03%. Now it's back up 0.02. So there you go. I would call that unch. And then we've got copper down 0.18%, 450 again, down to 450. We've got the dollar is mixed. Bitcoin up 889. It was up a lot more earlier, 110,796. And those are the numbers this morning. What a great day. No, I'm serious. This is ideal. What this is showing, what we're getting right now is the truth about the jobs market, which they've been lying to us for a very, very long time. And we're getting the truth now. Okay, this is the real number. I don't know. We could be off by 10,000 or whatever. We could be at 32 or at 12. It could be under. It could be negative this month. But what you're really looking at is that unemployment rate, 4.3. That's the key. 4.3 is good. It's not great. It's good. And what's going to happen is we're going to go into the fourth quarter and into next year, and that number is going to come down. That number is going to be 4.1. Then it's going to be 4. Then it's going to be 3.9. That's even with the productivity increases that we're going to get, but it's going to be fine. Now, could it go up a little bit? It could go up a little bit. Could go up a little bit. As I think it was Bradford Ferguson said last night, we could have a little period of time where there's a mismatch between what's going on in terms of productivity being amazing, government jobs being reduced instead of increased, manufacturing not catching up yet. But no, manufacturing is going to catch up with all of this infrastructure, all this manufacturing infrastructure that's being put in place. It's going to catch up, and we're going to start seeing manufacturing jobs, lots of them. And then we're going to see the numbers go up. Again, we're not going to see 100,000 job months. No, it's not going to happen. We're going to see 30,000 and 50,000 and 70,000. And it's all going to be U.S. workers, and it's all going to be people that get full-time jobs, and it's all going to be good paying jobs. And there's going to be real income increases. These are the things that matter. And eventually the folks are going to figure out, and Trump's numbers are going to be 55, 56, 57% approval, because eventually the folks are going to go, wait a minute, I've got way more money in my pay, and I haven't really noticed that much inflation at the grocery store. In fact, my gasoline prices are down. They're going to figure it out, even with the headlines from the mainstream press telling you differently. They're eventually going to get it. Okay, I got to get out of here. That's enough for now. It's been great talking to you.